Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm going to check all my levels here, be sure we got everything set. I appreciate your guys' patience. I know we were supposed to do a stream yesterday. I was having some technical issues, so we got it all sorted out. I'm super excited for this stream on ETH. I love ETH as an asset. I'm super bullish on ETH long term. And timing wise, this is kind of, around the time that we should start thinking about, maybe doing some long-term buys. I don't think we're exactly at the levels per se, but, regardless, I'm just really interested in doing some analysis on Ethereum. So, before we get into that, I just want to take a moment and just look back on our analysis with BTC. We talked about this. I said the very moment that we put in this low, I said put your range trading caps on. We're likely going to be ranging for a time. And as you can see, we're doing just that. Anytime there's such a large move like this, typically you range for a period of time before price has a little bit more action. Ideally, I would really love to see a deviation back inside this range here, take out this low, take out this low. I would even opt for a double bottom if we swept this low and just kind of did something like this. I would be fine with that as well. But the point is that, I'm really just kind of looking for something to happen between these two lows here. And if we're going to count it off, we could think of this as like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, 5 from there, right? A couple more things. One more thing I wanted to show you guys. For those of you who have watched some of my tutorials, one of my favorite, and in my opinion, the most underrated of tools is the Fibonacci time tool. And I just want to show you, and it doesn't look like I can on this chart. We're going to have to go to a longer chart. Just want to show you guys this. I think it's pretty, pretty remarkable how this works. So we'll go ahead and draw from the 2017 high to the low, which I'm going to say is about here. And we'll draw from the high to the low. And you can see that exactly the amount of time from here to here was the exact same amount of time as from here to here to the week. Okay, so basically the bottom was put in the exact same amount of time. All right, so very cool, very powerful tool. Now let's do the same thing with the rally. Okay, so the bear market rally, we'll go ahead and draw it from the low to the high, and we'll go from the low here, and we can see that this bear market rally was a little bit longer by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. So a little bit longer there, right? I'm gonna go ahead and hide some of the stuff here. A little bit longer. Okay, so we can, take note of that. We can keep that in mind. I want to now do from the bear market rally high to when the low was finally put in. And we'll go ahead and mark that out. And that time that week would be, end of March. Okay, so this is great, right? End of March is roughly when we would see that happen. And I think that this coincides really well with a lot of the stuff that we talked about. We know that the halving takes place in around March, April of 2024. We have U.S. Presidential elections going on and potential rate cuts going into, say, 2025. All of these things kind of create a perfect a mixture for, some bullishness, right? So this is really encouraging to see that, we would be looking to maybe for some kind of a bottom to form around this time. And if we go to our analysis over here that we did some time ago, or just recently, I'm sorry, we did this on Friday. If we go ahead and draw out, kind of some of the stuff that we were looking at here, we were looking to do, you know, like a one ABC, and that ABC we were looking to be put in, you know, sometime around February, March. So again, this lines up really, really nicely. Everything is sort of all pointing to that February to April time zone that we would be looking for some degree of a bottom to be put in, right? That would kind of be like our marker for a bottom, at least on BTC around that time frame. So I just wanted to do a very brief update to remind you guys of kind of what we're looking at on BTC, what we can expect. You know, we very well could get a move up back into this zone before coming lower. You know, it's all to be seen. But so far, I stand by my analysis from last Friday. I think that it's all still great, still very relevant, all still looks good. And that's that. So we'll go ahead and wrap that up with BTC. And we will go ahead and dive right into Ethereum. Again, as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the YouTube chat. Otherwise, if you don't get a chance to, you're more than welcome to ask me in the Discord afterwards. Okay. Let's just go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so this is the yearly open. Just something I want to keep in mind is that yearly open. Down to our monthly levels and mark these out here. Okay, we have a new untapped monthly here. The yearly open is also a monthly. Very interesting. Okay. That one was tapped here. Robbed right through this one. I think is interesting. So it. Hmm. Price is in a dead zone right now. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, this is all, but we'll mark it out nonetheless. Oof. Yikes. Ugly. Well, how about that? So that line here. Cool. Yeah, this is pretty interesting panel. Hmm. All right, so this level is very key. Hmm. This is a really interesting chart. What's that look like to you guys? It looks like an ascending triangle to me. That would be very interesting indeed. Hmm. They're really hard. Hmm. 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 You know, hmm. You know, honestly, nothing really stands out to me on this chart. Nothing is like, oh yeah, for sure this is what's gonna happen. Like I can't look at this and say with utmost confidence, like, oh yeah, I'm expecting XYZ. Like I don't see that at all here on this chart. Like there isn't any one thing that totally stands out to me here. So, I mean, what does that tell you? Um, all right. I do. Hmm. Yikes. All right, here, give me a moment here. I'll be right back. All right, I thought about it, and we're just gonna go with what the chart is telling us, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna mark out these liquidity levels. I'm so used to looking at an asset, and when I see it, I know what it's gonna do. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Sometimes when you just look, you just know. Like you can just see exactly what price wants to do. And as I'm looking at ETH, I don't see it as clearly as I might on some other assets. And, oftentimes that can just be a sign to, stay away. I mean, if you don't have an idea of what's happening, then stay away. But if I'm just going to break it down and show you guys what the chart's saying, I think at the very least we can come up with an idea of what we want to be looking for here. So I'm going to mark these areas of liquidity out, 1830, 1850. And we'll kind of get this rocking a little bit here. Gonna do the one at 1830. Go back here. Let's go out to a month. And we have 1900. Okay. And we'll go to 3 months. And we have, yeah, 2060. 2060. Yeah, so I mean, I can see the charts telling us some things, but it's a little contradictory to like what I would. It's not. It doesn't make as much sense to me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't seem like it's what should happen. So you know, that's kind of my quarrel with it. Is it just when I see it, I'm like, I don't know. But that's okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and we'll look at it for what it is, and if that's what it's saying, then you know that's what it's saying. Who am I to argue with that? Okay. Um. All right. So here's what I see. All right. So this okay, just very plainly put, this is I think as simply as we can make it on a higher time frame. This is what we're saying on the chart, okay? So one, price is capped here. We can see it was support, flipped to resistance right here. Resistance, deviation, resistance, right? We can see the range low here. Deviation, support, and since then we have this higher time frame. Keep in mind this is a 3-day chart, right? So this is a higher time frame trend line here that we could see acted as support right at the midline here, right? And we had this nice swing failure of this zone here. So like all in all, this does look, you know, it looks nice. So most simply put, like let's just be totally plain, okay? What are our options from here? Well, either A, this trend line continues to hold and we form a we form an ascending triangle. Okay. So, right, option A, trend line holds, and we basically do something like this, and eventually flip this to support, and we break out, theoretically targeting, you know, 3K. Okay. Let me just double check that. Yeah, targeting, yeah, about 3K is essentially what we would be targeting, theoretically, if this triangle plays out. Okay. Now, when I see this, I'm like, I'm not really into that. Okay. But here's the deal. We have that plus we have this nice harmonic here. All right. So with this harmonic, and here's the deal. It's a little early. This harmonic, you would typically want it to go over here. So what that could mean is that we could range here for a bit, get a small sweep, and then have the move up, which would then align well with BTC. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to set an alert right below this low. And I'm going to say, around September 16. If so, check Gartley harmonic on a sweep of previous low in line with BTC deviation for then a move up time to long. Okay, so if we did get this move down, let's say, and we did do something like this and we swept this low and this harmonic then looked a little bit better, great, perfect. All right, cool. We know that harmonics don't always have to play out perfectly as well. Okay, so if that is the case, you know, this could be in right here, and that could be all fine and dandy, and, you know, this harmonic ultimately targets, 2.3K, okay, which would be a nice little breakout, perhaps. We get that move up, you know, and this is just roughly in line with like the 618 of the move up as well. So, you know, all right, cool. Like we could maybe see this playing out and this happening, you know, whether this is the low or if we follow more closely with our BTC plan, we sweep this and then we get that move up. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Like if I just, you know, right away as I'm looking at this, we have the ascending triangle. This higher time frame level and channel is very well respected at the midline, and this trend line here, all very well respected. We have this possible bullish Gartley harmonic on a higher time frame. So we are seeing reason to believe that we could potentially have a move to the upside. Okay. Now, on the flip side, this harmonic, again, not quite where we want it to be. And let's say if, and it's really quite this simple, in my opinion. Let's say we get this move down, we either sweep and then we have our move up, or we simply, you know, bounce and have our move up, whatever. If price drops and, you know, let's say comes down and back tests this area and it flips to resistance, the most obvious thing then is to expect a move down to range lows. Now, when we're looking at range lows, we have the yearly open just down there as well. And the yearly open coincides with a untapped monthly level as well. Right, so we have an untapped monthly level. We have an untapped monthly level both at range high and at range low. So, you know, like I said, if we get this move down and we lose this level completely, I don't see any reason why price wouldn't, you know, basically visit these areas here. All right. And I think it's that simple. I mean, truthfully, if I'm looking at this analysis, I really don't have like anything really special, like with BTC. I mean, I look at that chart and I know what's going to happen. I mean, I feel very strongly about the analysis that I gave you guys on Friday that we did a very brief update on today. I feel very strongly about that analysis, and I really like how that looks and what we did there. This isn't as clear for me. That said, if I'm just going to, kind of shut up and just listen to what the charts are saying, it seems pretty clear to me that, and we have this nice weekly order block down here as well, right on top of the weekly open and this untapped monthly. It seems really clear to me that if, really, here's our two options, okay? One, we simply hold the low and we get a move up. Two, we come down, deviate, then we get the move up. Three, we back test and then go to range low, right? So these are kind of our options right now as far as I see it on the chart, right? And this would be probably closer to over here. And this would be something like this. And, this would be something like this. So yeah, this is more or less kind of what I would be looking for. Are one of these kind of many options, right? So basically, this zone right now is sort of capping us. So if we did get this move up, I'd be very interested to see what would be happening there. But more or less, the one that falls in line with our plan with BTC would be this sweep, right? This yellow option where we get this move down, kind of go like this, and then sweep the low. And then we have continuation to the upside, sort of deviate or sweep this, this trend line here that we've, had that's been well respected for quite some time. Yeah, that's right now. This yellow one is kind of, I think, the best idea. But that said, if this harmonic actually is in, then that's kind of that, right? I mean, that then is what it is. And for people who say, well, is ETH gonna make new lows? I don't know. We have this really nice bullish cipher harmonic that was put in June of 2022, and this thing targets basically 5K, but its very first target would be 618, which we never reached, which is right on top of this monthly. And again, going back to our ascending triangle, what does it target? Well, it targets roughly 3K or somewhere in this zone, right? So it would coincide really nicely with all of this, right? I mean, it really does all look good when you start to line up everything and say, yeah, this here to here. Yeah, I mean, you can see we have this untapped monthly, we have the 618, we have the 1-to-1 extension of the ascending triangle. So like when you start to really line all the stuff up like this, and we drop in this triangle, all of this kind of starts to look pretty nice. Okay, like it does. I mean, it does look nice for it to kind of, do some shit like that. Now, again, like I said, we lose this zone. It's logical to just think that we're going to come back down to range lows. And really, guys, it's that simple for me. I don't, like I said, there's nothing that's like abundantly clear to me on this chart. I see the ascending triangle. I see we're holding the trend line. I see that we have a nice kind of higher time frame local harmonic here, you know, kind of right in this zone here. That harmonic could be in already, or maybe we have to do a quick sweep of the low, which would, like I said, line up well with our BTC trade. So, you know, really this, I think that this is fair enough to say that this is, I think, where we're going to leave our analysis today. You know, like I said, nothing truly stands out to me. I mean, nothing is just like, yeah, this is absolutely it. You know, one thing that does bother me, and it always has bothered me, is that we made new lows on BTC but not on ETH. So we kind of have this 1, 2, 3, 4, and no 5. And with you know, with BTC, we do have that 5, and there is just so much support down here, and we have the range lows yearly open on tap monthly. We have a nice weekly order block down there. There's just so much support. It's pretty hard to believe that we would make new lows, and I can't even begin to fathom the event that would push ETH to do such a thing. So as much as I would like to see that, I'm not going to hold my breath for it. I think right now it's just important that we stick to what the charts are saying, and really, you know, what the charts are saying is that right now we do have potential for kind of a bullish setup here. I want to watch that unfold for a little bit longer. We have a very clear invalidation losing this trend line as well as the midline. I think it's safe to assume that we would just visit the range lows down here at the yearly open on this untapped monthly. Let's yeah. No, I think that that's about it for our analysis. You know, we have things that we're looking for. But really right now there's no entry, there's no trigger. I don't really see anything crazy on the chart. You know, right now, truthfully, like I said, it's really all about this right here. You know, I think one of these handful of things are going to happen. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. How long are we on here? About an hour. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and wrap up our analysis here. You know, maybe we'll do, in this case, I think it's really important for us to take a look at the ETH BTC chart. Wolf. Oh, okay. Huh. Well, shit. Well, man, okay. So this is a weekly chart. I mean, down to the daily. You guys can see there's kind of a wedge formation here, falling wedge. that would. Oof, and we had a nice classic double bottom on it. Yikes. Oh, Jesus. I'm actually bullish on ETH. Yikes. Not good. Okay, all right. Well, man. Okay. Yeah, there's just too many bullish things. All right, so we do have this falling wedge, and it is a massive falling wedge. It's been going on for quite some time. We have this falling wedge here on ETH BTC, which means that ETH could show some strength against BTC. And then again, going back to our Ethereum chart, you know, we have all of this stuff set up that, you know, we have this bullish Gartley harmonic here that could be potentially formed. Yeah, so here's the deal. I set some alerts on that ETH BTC. I'm gonna look for a 618 back test before, you know, I'm like that wedge formation. And, you know, I think at that point, pending where this is, I mean, if we do get that sweep or we get this move down here, I'm probably gonna be looking for some longs. I'm going to set an alert on. Let's go ahead and pop up this trend line here. I'm gonna set an alert on this trend line. Crossing. Trend line. Line tapped. Consider long or look for Gartley harmonic. Spell that save. Okay. All right, so that's really this is the best that I'm gonna do. So right now, everything that I'm saying about Ethereum is bullish. We, like I said, ascending triangle, harmonic, look for a potential sweep. We also have the falling wedge on ETH BTC, which means that when and if this breaks out, BTC or ETH would show quite a bit of strength against BTC, which could, you know, possibly propel it much higher. So we'll have to keep in mind and just watch to see what happens here. Right now, there's really nothing actionable, right? The market's simply in a range. But at some point here, when we do break out of this, you know, I'll be very eager and curious to see how or what happens here, and we can start to look for some positioning. If we did something, you know, like if we got an SFP here, I might consider a long. I'll go ahead and add an alert. Launch or as long. If we got that, I would consider it. Otherwise, again, we're going to be just looking lower. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. I think that we're seeing a lot of bullish things on Ethereum, which like don't fully sit well with me because it's just not what I'm expecting to see right now. But I do just have to listen to what the charts are saying. If I see all these bullish setups, then well, it wouldn't be good of me to ignore that, right? So, I think, you know, throughout the week, let's go ahead and take a look here. We have Powell speaks on Friday. We have the Jackson Hole Symposium, so we could expect, some volatility. And then next week we do have some data coming out, JOLTS job openings and the prelim GDP for the U.S. on Wednesday. So, we could see some volatility between now and the coming week here. Hopefully that will, break us out of this range and give us a little bit of action. But right now, I do like what I'm seeing on Ethereum. Like I said, it is, truth be told, a little bit surprising to see this much bullish setup on ETH. So again, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Thank you guys for joining. I hope that you found this insightful. I know that we've talked quite a bit about, doing start to finish analysis to show you guys. I had someone DM me like, I don't know, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, or I can't remember, but it was somewhat recently, and they said, hey, I've done technical, and I know like Fibonacci, I know Elliott Wave, I know volume profile, I know whatever, XYZ, I know how to do analysis, trend lines, channels, etc., 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 but I really don't know where to begin. How do you come up with trade setups? So I hope, today you guys got to see a little bit of how I do that. Truthfully, I just put everything out on the chart, and then I start to draw it out, and I say, even right now, because things didn't seem so clear to me, and they don't necessarily agree with my bias, this ETH chart doesn't, I was still able to kind of say, okay, well, let's just stop and say, what is the chart saying? Well, the chart has several bullish setups forming. So, we did just grab a really big chunk of liquidity, and it is possible that this, could be some kind of a low that we've put in here where we should start looking for some degree of a long opportunity, right? Even though it doesn't necessarily agree, with my current bias on the market or what I would expect to be happening right now, right? So, all right, yeah, thank you for joining me, guys. We'll go ahead and wrap it up there. I know I've said that about 1,000 times, but we really will. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks, guys.